Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are back on Sporcle, which is starting to grow on me. I wasn't the biggest fan, but they have some good quizzes. And today we are doing the Countries of Europe Logic quiz. I've done a few logic quizzes before on the channel. We did Harry Potter and I think Countries of the World. So this is purely European countries. I got recommended this from a subscriber who told me it was difficult. So let's jump in and see how hard it is. As always, the link will be in the description below. Alright, so we're starting with E3 and we're given Russia. All countries in row A were formerly part of Yugoslavia. So we're talking Croatia, Serbia, probably Bosnia. And then column 2 countries all start with B except E2. And right there, I think that's our first clue, which means A2 should be Bosnia. And I always forget that Sporcle makes me type Herzegovina too. Herzegovina? And the spelling strikes. We got it right. All countries in row B border Germany. Okay, so is that telling me? What is that telling me? Oh, okay. So it's telling me that a B country that starts with B and is in row B borders Germany. So this has to be Belgium because it starts with a B and borders Germany. All countries on the A1 to E5 diagonal have capital cities starting with B. The United Kingdom is in D1. So we got a gimme here. We can do the UK. And the 5 European island nations are all in this quiz and form a diagonally connected chain. So that's going to be the UK, Ireland, Iceland, Malta, and Cyprus. I'm guessing Cyprus is considered European here. And then the diagonal chain. I think that means it's going to have to be like C2, B3, A4, or E2. Okay, so, well, actually, we can narrow this down a bit because none of the islands start with B, so E2 is going to be an island, which forces D3 to be an island. But I don't think that gives us any information yet. I think this is where the next clue lies. A1 has to have a capital that starts with a B, and according to the Russian answer, has to be in Yugoslavia, which should be Belgrade, Serbia. I'm going through my head now, and I don't think there's any other countries in that area that have a capital that starts with B. So I feel pretty good about Serbia. No countries in row C are landlocked. C3 does not start with the letter R. So C3 is probably what we have to answer next. It is not landlocked. It has a capital that starts with the letter B. A capital that starts with B and it's not landlocked, and it does not start with the letter R, so it's not Romania. So I'm thinking it's going to be Germany, Berlin, Germany. Before I type this, are there any other options? The other capitals are like Bern, Switzerland, Bratislava. We did Belgrade, Serbia, Bucharest, Budapest, but Hungary is landlocked, so I'm confident that's Germany. The countries vertically and horizontally adjacent to A5 both start with the letter C. So that doesn't tell us anything about A5, but it tells us that A4 and B5 both start with C. But a Yugoslav country that starts with C, that should be Croatia. And Slovakia is not in this quiz. Okay, so there is no Bratislava. What can we do next? I think we can figure out B5 too, because every country in row B borders Germany, and it has to start with a C. So this has to be Czechia. Water from Czechia flows to the North Sea, the Baltic Sea, and the Black Sea. That's not a clue. Okay, so what are we missing here? I'm rereading over everything here. This is where it gets tricky. Okay, so I think C2 and D2 have to be Belarus and Bulgaria, but I don't think I know where to put them yet. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, row C, no countries in row C are landlocked. So C2 has to be Bulgaria because Belarus is landlocked. So Bulgaria and then Belarus. So we have two more clues here. The Alps mountain range runs through three corners of this quiz. So we're talking like southern France, Switzerland, Italy, Austria, Slovenia, I think is going to be A5 because we need a Yugoslav nation that has Alps in it. I highly doubt any of Italy was ever in Yugoslavia. I don't know too much about that part of history, but I feel like that would be something I'd know. But I also don't know if the Alps go all the way over to Slovenia. I feel like it has to be Slovenia because there's no other countries in that area that could have the Alps. So Slovenia. No countries in column 3 are landlocked. Italy is not in this quiz. Okay, wait, so this Alp answer has actually given us a lot, I think, because we need one that has a capital that starts with a B and is an Alpine country, which I'm pretty sure is Bern, Switzerland. Because E1 and E5 both have to have the Alps in it. There's no way Serbia has Alps. And I can't think. Austria's Vienna. France is Paris. I mean, Liechtenstein, that's not. That doesn't start with a B. It's going to be Switzerland here. Okay, so we have a lot of clues here. Switzerland. This country's official languages are French, German, Italian, and Romansh. That doesn't help me. I'm thinking Romania's. No, Romania is not landlocked. I'm thinking it has a sea border on its eastern side, probably. No, I know it does. I think that's either the Black Sea or the Dead Sea. Is it Hungary? Are there any other options? We have Bern. There's no Bratislava. Okay, so wait, that must be why it tells us Slovakia is not in the quiz. So this is going to be Hungary. 3 countries in this column are Nordic countries. Okay, so that's going to be like Iceland, Sweden, Norway, and Finland. But we only need 3 of them. Okay, what else is that telling me? Well, we know that means either C4 or E4 is going to be Iceland. All countries in row B border Germany. And it has to be Nordic. Okay, so, well, no, because Norway, it's Denmark, and I forgot that Denmark is Nordic. Because Denmark is the only possible border for Germany that is also Nordic. That makes sense. Row E contains the countries bordering the Barents Sea. Okay. Is that a sea I'm supposed to be familiar with? E1 has to be an Alpine country, so E1 cannot border a sea, the Barents Sea. That would, if anything, border the Med. Okay. So E2. E2 is going to have to be an island nation. But two of the islands are in the Med. That would be Malta and Cyprus. And the UK and Ireland are not. They're in the North Sea, I think. I'm pretty sure that forces E4 to be Iceland. But does Iceland border the Barents? Well, I wish I knew where the Barents was. I think it's safe to say it's Russia because Switzerland doesn't have any seas. Or Switzerland's landlocked. And E2 is going to be an island. And it can't be Iceland. So I'm thinking it could be Russia and Iceland. But does that make sense? It doesn't make sense to me because there's so much between Russia and Iceland. But it could be Russia and Norway. Norway's Nordic. I think this has to be Norway because Norway shares a border with Russia. One of my favorite geography facts is that North Korea and Norway are only separated by Russia. So I assume the Barents is way far up north. Okay, columns 2, 3, and 5 each contain one country bordering the Black Sea. Okay, well, I don't even want to touch that yet because that forces C4 to be Iceland now. Because E2 is forced to be an island, D3 is forced to be an island, and C4 is forced to be an island. So that should be Iceland. No countries in row E or column 5 start with the letter M. And just like that, we're getting the islands worked out. So this can't be Malta, and this can't be Malta. So that means D3 is Malta. Two countries in this row share a land border. Malta doesn't have any land borders, so it does have to be Ireland. Ukraine and Moldova are not in this quiz. Okay, so Ukraine and Moldova are not in this quiz. Ooh, we're running low on time. We have 3 minutes left, and we still have to get 7. What do we know next? Well, no, we know that E2 now has to be Cyprus. The Rhine River does not pass through the country in B3. So it's a border of Germany that the Rhine does not go through. I'm pretty confident that the Rhine flows through Germany and the Netherlands. That leaves France, Austria, Poland. What am I missing here? We are running so low on time. A3. It has to be a Yugoslav country that we haven't got yet. Oh, I'm cracking under the time here. I think this is going to have to be Montenegro or Albania, but I don't think Albania was part of Yugoslavia. Montenegro. This quiz contains 3 former Soviet countries which form a diagonally connected chain. Ah, man. Okay, I am running low on time here. I need to guess something for B3. It has to be... Does the Rhine run in France? That's a possibility. So Poland or Austria. Let's go Poland. The country with the first and fourth largest populations in Europe are in the same row. I have no idea. We need an open country in E1 and another country in that borders Germany in B1. So I think that could be France and Austria in the 2 of those. I don't want to lose on time. The first and fourth largest, so it has to be Germany, but what's number 4? Germany and. No? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We 100% failed on time. We got 21. I'm going to bring the quiz back exactly right here with a fresh timer and go from there. Okay, so we are back. I have a fresh timer here. I am chalking that up as a fail, but I really want to finish it. I'm also not sure how many of my last 2 or 3 guesses were supposed to be guessed in that order. I kind of panicked with the time, so I'm going to reread over everything and see what I can figure out. Okay, so here's what I've gathered so far. C1 has to be formerly Soviet and non-landlocked, which I'm thinking leaves me with Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. I'm not sure how to narrow it down further. B1 has to border Germany. And C5 has to be not landlocked. I think Norway here is giving us something. Columns 2, 3, and 5 each contain one country bordering the Black Sea. So Russia borders it in 3. In 2, it would probably be Bulgaria. And in 5, we do not have one yet. I'm thinking 5 could be Romania. And 5 could be the 4th largest population in Europe as well. C5 could be Romania. It would border the Black Sea. Ukraine is not in this quiz. I'm feeling good about C5 being Romania. And C1 doesn't border Belarus. I know that knocks out Lithuania, but I'm not certain if Latvia. It's either Latvia or Estonia. Are there any Alpine countries besides Austria left? Yeah, there's Liechtenstein. What about countries bordering Germany? So this could be France. Could be Austria. I think C1 has to be Estonia. I think that's going to give us the clue we need. Okay, and I was wrong. So it is Estonia. But it did not give me the clue I need. I'm going to have to read through this again and work this out. So from my thinking, B1 and E3 have to be France and Austria. One of them's Alpine and one borders Germany. The issue is, they both border Germany and they're both Alpine. I definitely think my rapid fire guessing there at the end, while lucky, has caused me to do a couple of these clues out of order. At this point, anyone watching, I hope you can go down in the comments and tell me what I'm missing. You know what? I was going off the assumption that Germany was the largest population in Europe, but if they're counting all of Russia as being European population, then I think Europe's number 1, and number 4 here in the corner could potentially be France, which would force that to be Austria, I think. So I'm confident in, or at least I have reason to guess France for E1. And the country in B1 comes alphabetically before Liechtenstein. So we know it's not Liechtenstein, which I don't think borders Germany, but it might have like a sliver. So I think that's Austria. Turkey and Greece are not in this quiz, so I definitely solved something out of order there. I'm thinking it was the Romania guess, because I assumed Germany and Romania were the big populations. But we got it in the end. I did fail, so you guys can roast me in the comments for that. But also let me know how you did. Let me know if you enjoy these logic quizzes. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed, and keep coming back for more. Thanks for watching.